Hello, my name is Louise Bichan. I'm a fiddler from Orkney, which is a group of islands right in the north of Scotland. It has a population of around 20,000 people. I grew up there and lived in Orkney until I was 18, and then I lived in Glasgow on the mainland of Scotland for a while and was involved in the music scene there for a long time, and now I'm living in Boston in the United States. I came over 4.5 years ago to study at Berklee College of Music, and I've been here since then. I'm going to tell you a bit about some Orkney fiddle music. Orkney has a really strong fiddle tradition, and the other instrument that's really popular in Orkney and has been for a long time is the accordion. My brother played the accordion and I played the fiddle. We grew up learning and playing together. I was taught by Douglas Montgomery, who's an amazing fiddle player in Orkney, and I also learned through something called the Orkney Traditional Music Project, which has been going for a number of years now and offers Saturday fiddle classes and accordion classes, and they do a summer school as well and teaches all of the repertoire of Orkney music and some beyond that as well. So I learned all my repertoire there as well. The Orkney fiddle style is quite sort of jolly and lilting and happy. There are not many ornaments played in Orkney music. If they are, they're kind of slower and similar to the Highland style, but kind of flattened out a little bit, not quite so decorated. It's quite jolly, happy sort of music in a way, and a lot of polkas. That's one of the Orkney favourites. Not very much vibrato, not a lot of slurs. Mostly in oral tradition, tunes were passed down, taught by ear for the most part, and now using music a little as well with the Orkney Traditional Music Project. One of the Orkney fiddlers who wrote lots of tunes and was well known and great for keeping up the old traditional tunes was Hugh Inkster, this guy here. This is an old record of Orkney music that belonged to my dad. These are some well-known Orkney musicians. Here, Billy Jolly, he's still around, and his wife Ingie Jolly. And this here is Ali Winwick, who wrote some tunes and songs as well. And they're joined by Nancy Castle. So yeah, this is a great record of old tunes. Some other Orkney fiddlers were Jimmie Johnson, who I don't know when he was born, but he was around until the 1960s, and he wrote a tune called Scapa Flow. And Peter Lenny, he was a fiddler he was born in 1846 and died in 1912. He wrote a tune called The Dearness Reel, and I'll play these two tunes for you now. These are a couple of my favourite ones. Scapa Flow is a body of water. It's in the middle of all the islands, which was really important in both World Wars. There were a lot of ships that were stationed there, and actually in the Second World War, a very important ship called the Royal Oak sadly got sunk by the German fleet. Dearness is a parish, an area of Orkney. It's a beautiful landscape. I'll show you some pictures in the video as well. And yeah, I guess a landscape that has inspired a lot of music for many years. And there's a lot of history and folklore and folk tales as well. There's a good tale of the trowies, like a Scottish or an Orkney word for trolls and kind of fairies. They would entice the fiddler into their trowie den and make the fiddler play, but feed him and water him well, make him play fiddle tunes, and he would think that he'd been there for a night, but meanwhile all his family don't know where their fiddle playing family member is gone, and a year later he'll appear thinking that he's only been gone for a day. So that's a good old Orkney folktale. Some other fiddlers include Jimmie Johnson, Jock Halcrow, and Jimmy Craigie, and another is Ronnie Aim. Ronnie was he was born in 1919 and died in 1982, and Ronnie was my granddad's best man and vice versa, so they were good friends. He wrote a tune called Gairsey after an island where my granddad has kept sheep, and my family has kept sheep for a number of years. It's a tiny island. Orkney's made up of lots of different islands, and this one is just one big hill and one smaller hill. It's tiny, so there's sheep out there, and so Ronnie Aim wrote this tune, perhaps for my granddad, I'm not sure. So this is called Gairsey. Polkas are really popular in Orkney and always have been, so I'll play you one next by Jimmy Craigie. This one is called Maggie Watson's Polka. These days, you might have heard of the Wrigley sisters. They're kind of one of Orkney's biggest recent exports, who toured a lot together. Jennifer Wrigley was the fiddle player, and Hazel Wrigley played piano and guitar. They don't tour anymore so much, but they returned home to Orkney and set up a music school that includes a cafe called The Reel. The Strathspey Reel Society meet there weekly and play, and they have a session on a Saturday night that people can come and join in on. And there's the music school, of course. There's all different genres taught there, lots of different teachers, and a wee music shop shop as well. And when I was a teenager, I worked in the shop and in the cafe and used to teach there too. Jennifer kind of set me up with teaching and helped me, mentored me as a teacher. And I and my friend Jennifer Austin, a piano player, and I set up a after school session for teenagers, for people who aren't old enough to go to the pubs. So we used to play and drink hot chocolate on a Wednesday after school. I'll play a more recent tune written by Jennifer Regley called The Dinghy's Howie Dancers. Tune by Douglas Montgomery, who is the fiddler who taught me. Douglas plays in a duo with a guy called Brian Cromarty called Saltfish 40, and he also plays in a band called The Chair with some other Orkney musicians. So this is one of his tunes called Stomping Laura. There are lots of younger Orkney fiddlers who are out and about and playing music for their career or for fun, and kind of spread far and wide, not all of them still in Orkney. I remember when I was young, I think I was maybe 6 or 7, I remember hearing somebody playing fiddle in the playground at school, and I thought it was really cool. And I used to ask to go and get a drink of water because the water fountain was next to where the fiddle class room was, and I would go and listen in at the door to the fiddle lessons happening. So I begged my parents for a long time to get fiddle lessons and eventually got lucky, and I got taught by Douglas in school from when I was, I think, 7 or 8 until I was 17 or 18. So there was a lot of young folks playing fiddle, and it seemed like a cool thing to do, and it looked like a lot of fun. We have a yearly folk festival that happens in May. Lots of great music from Orkney and from all over the world, and I've always enjoyed going along to that with my parents, and I always got this feeling like butterflies in my stomach that I really wanted to be. I want to be up there, I want to be playing music, and yeah, I've been involved in the festival lots of times since then, since I've started my music career. Now I'm in Boston. I'm playing with a few different groups. My main band is called Corner House, and I met those guys at Berkeley. I lived with 2 of them in a big music house, and yeah, we've Casey Murray playing cello, Ethan Satiowan plays mandolin, and Ethan Hawkins plays guitar and sings, and it's really fun playing a kind of mixture of music from Scotland and Ireland and from here, old time music, and yeah, a good mixture of all sorts of things. We were planning to come to Canada, actually, to BC to record an album next month, and sadly, with the world how it is just now, that's all on hold, which is really frustrating, but we're excited to finally be able to do it when we can. As well as Corner House, I have a band called Bellwether, and that's a really fun band with another Brit, someone from England, who lives in Boston, and who's Alex Cumming, who plays the accordion and piano, and another friend, Eric McDonald, who is a Boston native who lives in Canada now. Yeah, and that's a really fun trio, singing some songs, playing some music from Orkney, from England, from New England, so that's really fun. And I have a project of my own called Out of My Own Light, which I have the CD here. This is it, and this is all about my grandmother, who, when she was 25, she spent 6 months in Canada. She travelled all over. She took the boat from somewhere in England over to Montreal, and then she took trains, and I believe she went all the way as far as BC and visited relatives, because she had a bit of a dilemma. She had two people asking her to marry her, to marry them, and so she decided to visit her relatives in Canada to get as far from the problem as she could, and then she came home and married my granddad. I wrote music for that project and been planning to play some shows with that. I would have been doing that right now if it had not all been cancelled. Right now I'm stuck in Boston, wishing that I was home in Orkney, and able to go and help my parents on the farm, and take walks to the beach and things, but sadly I'm stuck here in the city, not really able to go anywhere, so I'm just here playing some music, and I'm really glad to be able to make this little video for you, and I hope you've enjoyed learning a little about music from Orkney. Yeah. I'll finish up with a little video from another project of mine called Fiddle Camp. This is where I put a GoPro camera on my fiddle and look down the neck of the fiddle, so I'll give you a little one of my Fiddle Camp videos of an Orkney tune in an Orkney landscape. So thanks for watching.
Thank you.